Hey, everybody. Are
Hi,
you
Kevin.
sprouting a beard, Chief Curtis?
It's my hiatus beard. It'll be gone in another week.
Hi, Kevin. How are you? Hi, Cindy. Hey, Chief.
Hey, John. Hi, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Great. Hey, Scott.
Hey, how are you?
Things settled down any for you, or?
Yeah, it's just ever evolving, if you can imagine.
I can't
The teachers
imagine.
going back and everything, everybody wanting to know, should they work, when they work, what should their kids do, should they talk to their kids, whatever. Should I see my parents, everything. So,
Oh, I know. Yeah,
yeah,
we just got back
nonstop.
from Colorado, and everybody was pretty mask compliant out there. I was very impressed. Even on the trails, we went on about a 7-mile hike with about 1,000-foot elevation change, and when you met people on the trail, everybody flipped their mask on. So
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, I've had opportunity to talk to a few people that didn't believe in all of it, so I was able to channel my experiences and share them with them, with a tear in my eye. So,
hello, Eric. Are you healing? I guess with the thumbs up that I got from you, you're healing well. You're muted, so yeah.
You all do have a quorum if you want to get started.
Okay. Let's give Angela a couple minutes to join us.
I'm sorry. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Eric. Are you doing
How are
all
you?
right?
Oh man, I'm sitting here rubbing my leg.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine. I'm gonna have to have my left knee done at some point. I'm just putting it off. So
Oh man, they say the knee is worse.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm surviving, man. It's just a little painful every now and then, but
Yeah.
not bad. You got to keep it elevated.
Yep. Do exactly what the doctors tell you to do. That's all I've got to say, and no more.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard, but I'm doing it.
Yep. Yep. Hi, Mayor. How are you?
Okay.
Hi, Katie.
Hey, Mayor.
Hey, Katie,
Yeah.
thanks for following through on the agenda and stuff and getting that out to everyone. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. That was
Well,
no
I was
problem.
in the smoke-filled skies of Colorado.
How was it?
It was nice, but toward the end of the week, it was pretty darn smoky. There's a big wildfire north of Rocky Mountain National Park, and then all the smoke was added from the West Coast. So, which we're getting today here, actually. That's what's up in the sky right now. So, anyway,
Wow.
I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. As far as the roll call, I can pretty much to see everyone. Kevin Saubert is present. Scott is here. Reverend Hayes, Katie, Cindy. Jean is missing at this point. John is here. We do need to select another student, but that's an item on the agenda too that I want to discuss. Angela, hopefully she'll join us at some point, and Mayor and Chief. So that being said, let's go ahead and review and approve the minutes from the previous meeting. I reviewed them, and I do have, of course I do, right? I do have one correction.
You always have a correction.
On page, agenda item number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Under the discussion summary on the report of contacts made with community groups, the statement Angela Brooks will reach out to the North Webster Coalition, although they are not currently meeting, either because of or due to the pandemic. Add those words, either due to or because of. You got that, Aaron?
I do.
Okay, perfect. I did not have any other corrections. Awesome. Anyone else? I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected. Do I have a second?
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Or opposed. The minutes are approved. Next item is the report on the revised voting status of the alternate member, but now I think it's going to be a member. And I think on your city council meeting, Jerry, that you guys did the first and second reading.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then what the next step is to vote on it. Will that be at the October meeting, or did you vote on it?
Every bill and ordinance has 3 readings.
Okay,
The first 2 come up at one meeting, and then you need to wait at least 2 weeks to give the public an opportunity to comment. And then you have the 3rd reading, and the 3rd reading then allows you to vote yes or no. This will be fine.
okay. That'll be in October, right? So,
October 6th, the first meeting in
Right.
October.
so by the time we meet at our next October meeting, Angela will be a member, not an alternate member, and
Right.
you will have voting capabilities.
Right.
Jean isn't here this evening, so she.
Hi, Angela. Let me mark you off my list.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Kevin Jean isn't here this evening, so she is a voting member.
Pardon?
Jean isn't here this evening, so Angela actually is a voting member tonight as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's currently our alternate, so.
Right. So Angela, I don't know if you came on during the discussion that I was having with the mayor, but essentially at the council meeting they had on the 15th, they will be the first and second reading of the modification to the ordinance will make you a member, not an alternate member. And you will have, then after it's approved in October, then you'll have voting rights as everyone. So essentially you'll be a member, not an alternate member.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
I'm going to back up just a second. Did you have any changes to the minutes?
No.
Okay. So anyway, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. The second thing that I noticed on it was the amending the qualifications for the youth liaison. What was that amendment, Jerry? Do you know?
Let me think now. We are going to ensure that there's a list of what we're looking for in characteristics of people who serve on the board. I forget the section, but it says we're looking for a physician, a minister, all of the categories that we have, and we're simply adding to that someone who will advocate for youth programs. So
Okay.
that's all we're doing is
Okay.
we're saying that we need somebody who would advocate for that, and both Cindy is a good representative of that.
Right. But the youth liaison.
The youth liaison, we're trying to change that so that we can actually have somebody who might have part of their senior year counted toward that year, so that we might be looking for someone who is a junior.
Okay. So you may change the age requirement or.
I think it was already that. You're changing also the that it doesn't have to come from Webster Groves schools.
Yes. Thank you, Jen.
I think we have a student who we may be able to recommend to one. A name was forwarded to me last week, and I said hold off on it because I knew we were meeting this week.
Okay.
And I knew there were some changes that were going to be made. So if we want to, I can share that with you, Chief Curtis, and.
Yes,
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
Share it with Chief Curtis and it'll be fine.
Okay.
We
Yep.
can-
Yep. And
That'll be
then,
tomorrow.
and then we can, just let me know, and then we can invite her to the October meeting, or him. I should say him or her, right? Or
Yeah,
they.
it's a young man.
Great. Next item on the agenda has there been any progress on the investigation on the shooting of our officer on I-44?
Kevin, there has not really been any progress in terms of an update. We did a cursory report, of course, but St. Louis County was responsible for the primary investigation of the shooting. They've completed their report. They've submitted to the prosecuting attorney. I think I related earlier that the prosecutor asked us to hold off on showing the video.
Right.
I'm able to show the video tonight. If you would like to see it, I'd like to do that. Preface it with actually how the call came out and what occurred. It speaks for itself. If you see the video, you'll see that really the investigation is obviously necessary, but you will be able to form an opinion on whether or not it was justified.
Okay. Is everybody in agreement that we should view the video this evening? Okay.
It would take about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Again, when we looked at the board who's seated in the summer, when I showed the videos from some of the other agencies that had experienced things, it's graphic material. So be prepared for that. If you don't want to see that, obviously you don't have to, but there are parts of it that are pretty graphic.
Yeah, any visitors that are with us, please keep that in mind because you'll be able to view it as well.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if I can, Jennifer.
You should be able to.
Okay, thank you. I'll start with the phone call to the dispatch center that started the call.
Okay.
280. There's a white car in the left-hand lane that's just sitting there with its lights off.
Okay, you said westbound at 280?
Yeah, right before 280.
Right before 280? Okay, we'll send an officer up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And the next part is the radio traffic of the officers. Again, so you'll get a feel how this is a routine call. Things happen unexpectedly, as we talked about before, but this will kind of give you an idea of how this evolved.
9381. A motorist that says westbound 44 Elm, westbound 44 just before Elm. Possibly need access from Murdoch. A white vehicle in the left lane blocking.
Hey, well, that's cleared up. 9383.
8383.
Been a look at that vehicle. I'm gonna back up from this. I'll take that 1046.
Turn out to the 1046 of 2022.
Stadium 23 on Bompard. Do you have her location now?
See my 80, you passed her apparently on Bompard. She did not try to flag you down.
I'll turn around. Get back to with her.
She's standing by a silver truck, wearing teal and black pants.
This is other radio traffic.
She's on Sunnyside.
Critical tanks on Sunnyside.
9382 units, 23.
Arriving.
He continued northbound on Bompard. Apparently, we detained him about 9 days ago.
Clear.
Red shorts and blue shirt. Red shorts and blue shirt. Apparently, a black brace around his left knee.
9383. Getting on westbound at Murdoch.
Clear.
9381.
8381.
You're going to 23 the highway.
You're out on the interstate.
8183. I'm going to hang tight back here since there's a curve. Okay, thank you. 83 dispatch, can you copy your Missouri plate? 8 Charles Zebra 786. 8 Charles Zebra 786.
Clear. 9382.
Go ahead.
Disregard. 9383.
83 or you did 4.
What? South Channel cars officer need to be westbound to 44 South Elm. Westbound 44 South Elm. Officer screaming on the radio. En route.
And then this is the video. You won't hear anything for a little bit. When the lights are activated, that's when the sound comes on. Again, if you have any questions on it, it's like I said, it kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, we actually didn't see any video, so
You didn't see the video?
no.
Let me try that again.
Yeah. We unfortunately heard everything, but
Let me try the video again. Something you should be able. I mean, you should be able to see it. Are you able to see that now?
no.
No, do you have to push play on the video on the right?
Jennifer, can you help me here? It's on my screen.
Yeah,
Like we're just seeing the list of your files, and then there's like a box that says assault on law enforcement officer, and there is a play under that. Do you see any sort of thing where there's a play?
Well, I'm playing it. I can see it.
Oh, okay.
all right. I've got an arrow to it.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to.
Mine's,
click
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Did that help at all?
No. What if you minimize that screen? Could we see, maybe we'll see it then. Try to minimize. Yeah, that guy.
That one?
Yeah.
Did that help?
No.
It didn't minimize. It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It says the screen sharing is paused. Hold on a second.
Because earlier I noticed that it was just spinning, like it looked like it was frozen.
Yeah. There's a play in pink at the very top.
It's changing.
You see it now?
I think I hear it starting, but we don't see it.
Let me stop until I can get it. It's saying it's paused, but I'm not quite sure how to do it.
I mean, there is a tiny box that I think is where it would be showing, but it's
Right
not.
there.
Yeah, right where your mouse is right now.
Wherever your mouse is now. It's on
Oh,
pop.
now. Okay, I think it's playing now. I think it's, yes, it is.
It's playing now.
Is there a way to maximize it? No, it's playing.
There's not. If you can see that, that's what you're going to have to be able to see. I can't.
All right.
Maximize.
Right. Okay. So he's approaching. Yeah, he's approaching the vehicle at this point. He's on 44.
Right. Can you see it now?
Yeah. Go ahead and hit play again. Yep, we can see it now.
All right. I apologize for the small screen, but apparently I can't maximize it.
No, that's okay. So he's heading westbound on 44?
Yes, he's headed toward the assist motors right now. You won't hear anything what happens is when the lights turn on, it records 2 minutes prior to the lights turning on. So you won't hear anything until just right after the lights get turned on, then you'll hear a sound.
Right. So this is the camera on the car itself.
Yes. Unfortunately, the body camera, because of the physical action, and then it was out in the rain for probably 45 minutes after. If you remember, it rained that night.
Right.
The data was corrupted in the body camera. So we don't have any body camera footage, but we do have the car footage.
Right.
Hopefully you're able to see that.
So, I mean, a routine call, right?
Yes.
Which obviously there are no such things.
Unfortunately, no. Again, that's what, as we discussed at one of our first meetings, that's one of the reasons why officers are cautious, and also one of the reasons why they try and take charge immediately whenever they get to a car, to try and make sure that that kind of a thing doesn't happen.
Well, I'm just thankful that that officer has fully recuperated, because, I mean, he was obviously shot and trying to get the weapon away from the individual, and reacted with pure adrenaline, I guess.
Well, he reacted according to his training. Unfortunately, he was able to do that, but he was also obviously very fortunate because he was, you know, shot point blank several times before he was even able to react, which you were able to see. So, as I
Right.
said, I don't have a copy of the county police report because it's with the PA's office.
Right.
One of the issues is that DOJ also investigates these type of shootings, and it can take 6 months to a year before there's a completion of it. But as I
Right.
said, if you see the video, it kind of speaks for itself. So hopefully
Right.
people are comfortable that you know, the officer did what he needed to do.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And I hope the officer is still doing okay.
He's doing well. He's back to work, and he's doing very well.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chief, for sharing that with us. I'm just thankful that the officer's okay, and I pray for the family of the victim as well. So on the item number 6, I didn't put this in any particular order because I didn't expect to see the video this evening, but you know, on something that's really disturbing was the racist graffiti that was on the, I guess, the United Church of Christ sidewalk, as well as some of the sculptures in Babry Park. And I don't know other places as well. And then the letters. Is there any report on the investigation of those incidents?
Unfortunately, we don't have any leads. We assigned 2 detectives to all, and there was some churches, and there were also some at some other locations. In addition to that, one of our first calls was to the FBI because obviously it's a hate crime. We made them aware of it. Their unit that handles those cases is aware of it. They didn't take the case, but unfortunately, none of the churches or any of the businesses where they was close have any kind of video. So we just really don't have anything to go on. The letters are stock letters, they're form letters that apparently not just here, but have been received at other places. And there really isn't any way for us to trace them. So at this point, unfortunately, we don't have any leads. Hopefully it's not going to happen again, but we would have to have something to go on more than what we had. The only good part of it was that as soon as we discovered it, Public Works is able to remove it, which is what will happen anytime that we do discover that stuff. We'll get it taken care of as soon as possible.
Right. I think it's just a lesson for all of us that this can and does happen everywhere, even in Webster Groves. And it's disappointing and disheartening as well, in a lot of respects. So
it's very disappointing. I don't think it's a reflection of the community. We don't know that it was a Webster person that did it.
Right.
This is the only place where there's, you know, that type of hate crime and graffiti. But again, we treat it seriously. We said one of our first calls was to the FBI to see if we could get some assist from them, but it's the same problem. It's unless somebody can give us witness it, or if we can get some video of it, it's really difficult to track down.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure, Doctor.
Yeah. The letter that was sent out that we received a copy of, is there a way for us as the PCEB to sign that and post it on our website that we agree with that letter? And
for the council? Yeah.
Yeah.
We certainly can do that. Jennifer can put that on.
I mean, what do you guys think? I just thought it'd be nice to sign that letter and say, that I am signing my name on this letter, that we are, and it's well stated. I thought it was a well-written letter that I wanted to sign and post. I didn't know how you guys felt, other members.
Good.
Yeah, I either wanted to I can't think of any better way to state it than what was stated in that. So either we write one ourselves or we do. I think that's a great idea, Scott, that Jennifer put signature lines on it, and that we sign it as members of the Police Community Engagement Board. And then get it posted to our website. That's a great idea, Scott. Thank you so much for that suggestion.
Would that be a motion item?
Really briefly, just if I may, just the current times make it a little harder to get signatures on things sometimes. So, you know, for all of you to come in and sign it just might be a little bit of a longer process.
Do you guys have DocuSign or that capability?
I don't
I
think
don't.
so. I don't know.
It would be great if you had our signatures available. I know at the university, they have my signature available to post on many things. So.
Hopefully everything you agree with, right? Yeah.
You could just put it on the web page and say
And
that
it's
it
online,
was
and I can link it to your
endorsed
also.
by the members of the Police Community Engagement Board.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to suggest to Mayor, that may be an easier way to do
Right.
that, endorsed by or somehow, you know.
Yes.
included. I was just going to say the same thing. I actually had a question as well. I'm wondering if something like this has happened in the past where people have put graffiti, you know, either, you know, on churches, and if so, when, and, you know, what was the result of that? Was that something that, you know, the police department was able to, or FBI, figure out, you know, who.
The last time we had any graffiti, it wasn't this type of graffiti. It's probably been, sorry, I kind of got to guesstimate it, probably six to 8 months ago. And it was some Nazi symbols off of Lockwood, I believe it was. Sorry, it's the energy saving lights here. And unfortunately, it's the same thing. Unless we can get some video or a witness, it's difficult to track down. In that case, the FBI wasn't really even interested in it. It wasn't directed at any specific, there wasn't an institution or individuals by there that would necessarily have been affected by it other than people that drove by. So again, occasionally we get graffiti, but that's probably the Nazi signs were probably the first type kind, as far as a hate crime kind of a thing that we've had here in years, really.
And then I'm wondering, is there something in particular that, you know, I guess makes the FBI respond to hate crimes? Are there particular things?
They're most interested when there is someone who's actually been harmed or injured by it, or if it's egregious. For instance, if property is actually destroyed, then they're more likely to actually take on the case. But otherwise, their caseload is such that they generally take on the most serious of cases. So with this graffiti, as in with this last instance where it's you know, obviously a hate crime, they're interested in it and they will take the information, but they don't really investigate it unless there's someone who is egregiously harmed by it. In general.
Did you reach out to any other communities in the area to see if this has occurred recently there in any other of the neighboring communities?
I am certain our detectives reach out to the communities to see not just if it occurred, but more specifically if there's someone that they suspected, because that's the best way or the only way to track these kind of things down. If someone gets caught doing it in some other jurisdiction, then obviously if they did it somewhere else, there's a good possibility they did it here. But again, they don't have any leads on it. So, I mean, basically the answer to that is that they weren't able to find anybody that had some information that would help us with what had occurred here. I mean, in all honesty, the FBI really, they have obviously a lot more resources, but when it comes to graffiti, you know, when you're talking about paint, same thing. If they don't have a witness or a video or some way to analyze it, even they wouldn't be able to really solve it.
Right. I think that one thing that we might do is keep our ears open when we're in, you know, Pastor Hayes, if you're talking to other members of other congregations or other pastors, if that's happened in the recent past to other places as well. I
haven't heard anything other than First Congregation, though, where Pastor Denoon did call me after it occurred. He was inquiring whether it happened at Old Community. Of course, it hadn't, or
Right.
none of the African American churches. But we let him know that we're standing in solidarity with them. And he had back surgery the other day, so he's kind of laid up right now.
Man, you with the hip and him with the back. So yeah, it's just, I think that put our names, get our names out on the endorsed by the members of the Police Community Engagement Board. And I don't have a problem putting my name on it. Does anyone else? Instead of a signature, just put our names, members of the Police Community Engagement Board.
Can do.
All right. And then post it to the website. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you can provide it to the Webster Kirkwood Times too. I don't know if they're on the call today, but I think it's important that we voice our concern. And I know the city council reacted very quickly on this. So I think that's important.
Kevin, I apologize. I'm gonna have to leave the meeting.
Okay. Yep. I know you're 10 minutes late, actually.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks. All right. So the item 7 on the agenda was a report from Chief Curtis on the changes to the community-oriented policing unit. I actually saw this in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch on the changes that were occurring there, and I'd just like for Dale to do a brief report on what changes are being made, and why they're being made.
It's not a dramatic change. The unit itself is staying intact. We have 8 officers. There's school resource officers, the community engagement officer, and the community-oriented policing officers. They have, in the past, have been under the supervision of a captain who is in charge of the entire bureau. He has like 21 people he's responsible for, but even more importantly, he has a lot of other duties, his records. He has a building maintenance, vehicles, and other things associated with it. So what we wanted to do was take one of the detectives, make them a sergeant, a supervisor over that unit so that they would have somebody who is more closely aligned with them and would be able to focus more on the community engagement part of it, be able to be more of a liaison with the high school and with our community engagement officer when he attends the meetings, and to help him with those duties. So it will allow her and us to focus more upon what we want to get done with that, and help the commander of that unit focus more on his duties.
I think what I would like to do once that gets in place and is in place for a little while, I'd like for that particular sergeant to possibly do a little presentation for the board and any visitors that would be signing on, if we're still doing the video at that point. So, which I expect we will. But I think it would be a good idea to get a report on the activities associated with that community-oriented policing unit. Does everyone agree with that?
That should be in place sometime in probably mid-November. So if we give, maybe give them a couple months, so late winter, early spring, if that would be okay, we could do that.
Yep, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. All right, the next item is the reports regarding the contacts with the community group leaders and a potential engagement timeline. So the Webster Groves Rotary is number one on the list that I have. And I did contact Jerry and I sent him an email. They meet every Friday. There's usually between 25 and 30 people that meet via Zoom with the Rotary Club. And he would, there's about 59, I think he said 59 members. And so roughly half are regular attendees at the meeting. And he was very open to us doing a presentation. And essentially he would give us a 30-minute presentation with 15 minutes for questions and answers. So 45 minutes of their hour is very generous, I think. He was very interested in our work. And so I provided him with a copy of the survey questions. We discussed it on the phone that we would like his membership surveyed in advance of the meeting. And that I also shared with him the draft PowerPoint of kind of what the presentation might look like. And I think we need, between now and the middle of October, we need to tweak it so that we know. The next 2 or 3 weeks, there's already presenters that have been engaged. So it will probably be toward the end of October, maybe the beginning of November, that we would actually be able to meet with that group. As he has a chance to look at the materials that I provided him and get back to me, then I'll share it with everyone. Do we want to possibly form a little subcommittee to work on the presentation, in addition to what's already out there on the PowerPoint that was put together by Mayor Welch? Would someone, I think maybe 2 or 3 or 4 people, 3 people, 4 people maybe, a little subcommittee on putting together a presentation that we could start out with, maybe that group, since they're meeting by Zoom, and then move on. So that's just an idea. Think about that while we hear from others on the reports from the other contacts. Angela, you were going to try to get a hold of the North Webster Coalition and talk to them. I know they're not meeting, but were you able to speak with someone?
Yes, I was able to reach out and received a confirmation that there is willingness to distribute the survey. So, you know, when I receive the final copy, I will send that. They are actually also planning, we're exploring having meetings to begin soon via Zoom. So that's something they're working on. So, you know, if we're able to get this done, this might be something that we can, you know, can be sent out to the members prior to the meeting. And there may be an opportunity to discuss it at the first meeting when it resumes.
That's excellent. Is there, do you know of a timeline that they're going to possibly try to start meeting via Zoom?
No, I don't know a timeline. I know they, you know, we put out just requests from people just trying to get a sense of who has access, you know, to the Zoom to be able to start. So, you know, it could be next month. I'm not certain at this point, the results that they received, feedback that was received. But, you know, they weren't, they're sending out the survey wasn't contingent upon the meetings resuming. You know, our discussion was that, you know, we'd be able to distribute it to the membership.
Okay. How large is the membership, Angela? How many members are in the North Webster Coalition?
I'm not certain how many members. I would say normally at those monthly meetings, it varied, maybe 20 people, 10 to 20, 25 or so. It just kind of depends.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about the roster. They're more on the roster, so which means there may be more of an opportunity for more people to complete the survey.
Right. And were they okay with providing contact information for us to be able to send the surveys out to the folks, or would we potentially send it to the leadership group and then they could forward it to their members?
That was the discussion, that we send it to the leadership and they would forward it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the ask. So.
Okay. I know, Katie, you had already talked to Farrell, and they're currently not meeting, but you were going to possibly get an update on that.
So there are two meetings that sound like they're coming up via Zoom, October 15th and November 19th. Farrell said they're going to finalize that on Thursday this week. And that she would assume that it would be a yes for us to take part in one of those meetings and distribute this survey and, and present. So those would be the two dates, potentially this fall.
Yeah, November 19th might be good. That's almost a year to the day of when we met with them before.
Yeah.
So I think the potential maybe you could work with Farrell to try to put together, because that presentation I think will be a little different than the others, because we've already presented to them what the basis of the group of the board is. So I think that with them, we can look at what happened the last time and maybe expand on that.
That sounds good. I'll check in with her. Like she said, this Thursday they're meeting, and then I'll check in with her after that.
Okay. I think Jean was going to talk. She's not on the call tonight. So Jean was going to talk to the Old Webster Trade Association. I'll try to reach out to her to find out if she had made any contact with them. And then the contact at Webster University.
That's what I reached out to Vince Llewellyn, who's going to be in contact with Jen Starkey regarding the survey. I actually went through it with him on the phone. I showed him the PowerPoint and the survey, got his feedback on it. He thought it was a good survey in general. He wanted to make sure it was finalized since it would have to go to a division at the university to be approved, to be sent out to students. I think that was our goal, was to send it to the survey of the students that live and take part in the campus. A couple items he mentioned on the survey under gender, we have male, female, and whether we put non-binary as opposed to other in there. That was one thing we talked about. The difference of sex and gender and trying to be up with the times on that. And
so on other, what's the term? Non-binary?
Non-binary, yeah. I don't know how you thought about it. We were just talking about it, and I'm presenting it to the board right now for your thoughts. Under number 4 under there, he brought up a good point, I thought. In your opinion, people of color are treated more favorably, less favorably, all of that, than people who are white. He thought we might suggest, in your opinion, Black people or people of color, separating that out, because there are different groups, and specifically separating that out. I don't know how you would think about that. I thought that was a very interesting point to me, and appropriate, that specifically Black people and other people of color. So that just little tweaks he was suggesting. I don't want to throw our survey into another 3-month process of review.
No. I mean, we were going to modify number 4 anyway, which is going to be a little bit later on in the agenda.
Okay, so we'll come back to it. But
Yeah.
as far as timeline, by the way, if we can get the survey to him, he can get it to the university department that would approve it, and then we can get it out quickly. I felt told him we were under a bit of a desire to get this moving quickly, to get a presentation out to them as soon as possible. He thought it should not take longer than this next month or 2 to get this whole process done. But I have to first get it approved through the university to be sent out, and then we can go from there.
Well, I want to do the finalization tonight. I want to get this thing done. I mean,
Finally,
all tweaked and worded and everything done. And then we'll discuss whether we want to get it out to the groups before we post it to the website or do it all simultaneously. But I think that we need to get it to them within the next week or 2.
Yeah, I was hoping to do that right away. Because I don't want to delay it, because it sounds like it's got to be approved by a department.
Kevin, Doctor, I don't know if I can be helpful or not. I'm meeting with their security director and the university president Thursday morning about some issues they want to talk about. So if there's anything that I can do to help facilitate that, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, happily. I think getting that survey finalized so we can get it to them so they can look at it, I think is our critical mission right now.
Right.
I can
But maybe you can prep them that we want to get that out. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I can at least mention it to him and tell him that we
Please, yeah.
like to expedite it and see if he can help do that.
Perfect.
All right. Excellent. So who would we, if we did a presentation, who would we do a presentation to, Scott? Or would
that's what I wanted to finalize, whether it be to all comers within the university, students and instructors and administrators. That's how I understood it when I spoke to him. I think that would be appropriate. I open to hear any other viewpoints.
So, I mean, being a university, they probably have pretty sophisticated Zoom usage and not unlimited. So,
right.
It's something that they could spearhead and then set up an actual date for students to participate in that presentation.
Yeah, and he was also very interested to have us be there to hear the experiences that students have had in their interactions with the police department. And I think that's part of our engagement, is to listen. So
absolutely,
I want to open that up, that we want to listen, and then we want to bring it back to the group.
Right. And I'm assuming that they'll still want to do it at on Zoom at this point.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. John, you were going to talk to the folks at Webster Groves High School.
It's been a little bit of an unconventional start to the school year. So,
yes, indeed.
So yeah, I think we'll be able to get in front of a student group. It's just a matter of timing when we'll be able to do that. It's probably going to be a little bit later than we'd expect, just because of the school's trying to ramp up and do some student activities, but we're trying to do that in a safe, cautious way.
Yeah. So would it be safe to say that Webster Groves High School may be pushed off until early next year?
Yeah, I think that'd be good timing.
Yeah. And then the Old Orchard Business Taxing District, I don't know I can't remember who was going to try to reach out to them. Was that Gene again? I don't know if we had an actual person assigned to that group. I think it's the same. It's Fran. It looks like for both groups. So again, I will ask Jean if she could reach out to Fran and for both groups. So I think what I'd like to do is on number 9, which is finalize the process for access. I want to kind of combine that with finalizing the survey itself to make sure that we get that done tonight. I mean, I think most of it is really done. It's just now tweaking and wordsmithing it and making some minor modifications to it. But the other thing that I would like to do is back up just a second and get some volunteers to serve on a subcommittee to work on the presentation. Because I would like really that to be done prior to the presentation to the Rotary Club. And then we can probably do a similar one to Webster University students. So they have some background information about why the PCEB was formed, what its purpose is, but spend a little bit more time getting their feedback so we can listen a little bit more after we do the presentation.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think we might have a potentially an hour with them versus 45 minutes with Rotary Club. And so I want to get input from Rotary Club as well and listen, but I think that we might have a little longer opportunity with the students to get a little bit more feedback with the time that's probably going to be allowed for us. So who wants to be? I will listen into the subcommittee, but I really want the input from you guys. I feel as if I write all the agendas.
Right.
I try to come up with items to move us forward, and I want to make sure that everyone is engaged. And I mean, you guys are, but everyone has an opportunity to make some really good input into what we do.
I'm willing to work with the subcommittee, especially since, as you said, I think part of it will be to present to the student body and the administrators that we're here, what our purpose, why we're formed, all that. Make certain they know that and listen. So I think that input, if I'm going to be one of the presenters for that one in particular.
Like to help with that too.
Cindy? Okay.
Yes.
What,
I'll help.
Kevin, what's the difference between having like a working meeting to do that and doing a subcommittee?
We could, but what I would prefer is that the subcommittee actually puts together the details behind it, and then the work session, we can spend that time tweaking it and making sure that it's what we want. Because I think what happened with the survey is we have the meeting, and then we wait a month, and then we have another meeting and we wait a month. And so we're literally during our regular meeting, we're trying to make changes to the items, and too many of them. I just think it would work better if a smaller group would get together, come up with the ideas, and then present it to a work session. Jerry, what do you think?
If you guys do the content, I'm happy to put it together. But I it's up to you all to do the content. But I'll work around the bells and whistles on it.
I mean, if we all wanted to get back together again, we could do that. In the next. But again, the time is so limited for all of us. So.
I'd suggest that you get your little subcommittee together, decide what kind of content you want. I'll throw out what we have now. And then once you guys decide that, we'll put the bells and whistles together. It's easier, just get it done. Then the committee can tweak.
Right. That's kind of what I think. So
Kevin, I'll help out with that too.
Okay.
I'm happy to help too.
If I send you what I've done, with the PowerPoint, then you guys could figure out what else you think we need to do with it.
Have you added to the other one?
I haven't messed at all with it
Okay.
since I
you
sent it out.
I can send it out. I've got it.
Okay, send it out, and then whatever you guys want to do with it,
Yeah.
I'm happy to mess with it. And
I
whatever,
changed a little bit on the last page, so I'll send out what my version is. I think I'm up to
Fine.
version 4. I'll send that out to everyone tomorrow. And then if Scott, Cindy, John, and Katie, if you guys could meet sometime in the next week, week and a half at the most, and then you can report back to me. And then if we need to put together a work session for about, an hour work session or something for this, we can do that.
you don't need an hour work session.
Half hour.
Just
15
figure
minutes.
out what you guys want, send it off to me, and I'll fix it up.
Okay. All right.
Get it done.
All right.
Yeah.
Share it, and we'll send it to
Just
Jerry.
send it off, and I'll fix it up whenever you guys want, and we'll get it done and move on.
All right. All right. Absolutely. All right. On the survey itself, I know that Jennifer was going to look at the wording on number 4. I think it was in the minutes. And now we've got some, in your opinion, are Black people and other people of color. And then we were going to change how that particular, to clarify it, instead of putting the choose answer below in the middle.
I have changed nothing, but I'm more than happy to. I've been working on some other things.
I'm sure you have.
But I'm, whatever you guys want things to say, if somebody just sends it all to me, that'll be easier than me I mean, I'm writing them all down now, and I was on a phone call earlier, so I missed the conversation earlier. But yeah, if I can just get an edited version of it or marked up, or even just an email that says bullets with something that what's there.
Okay.
And I need to change, more than happy to.
Katie,
But my question is, are you guys aren't going to be using this necessarily on the online platform, correct? You're just going to be using this as a PDF?
Well, I would prefer to have it on the online platform and send a link to the membership that we want to fill out the survey, because they can do it electronically that way.
I will have to explore and see if there's a way for me to hide it and not have it in the form center, because right now, any form that I create is, we link it on certain pages, but it's also, if somebody goes to the form center, they're all listed there.
Right.
I'm not sure if there's a way for me to conceal it or not.
I just don't know logistically, if we send it out on paper copy, how people are going to fill it out and get it back.
Well, yeah, I just know you didn't want it out there necessarily as a public fillable thing.
Well, we had talked about that, to add some demographic data as to whether you were a resident, student, or business owner of Webster Groves, and to mark a box indicating whether you were, and then that will be a filtering mechanism in and of itself.
Another thing we did on another form I'm working on, they did a how did you hear about this, and made that a required question. So it was like presentation from the Police Community Engagement Board, found it here, you know, something like that could help kind of winnow that down a little bit. Just a thought.
Okay.
I think for the university, I would just want to get it on PDF, get it to them, get this moving. I would think rather than trying to figure out the whole website thing.
Okay.
You know, I would think I just want to get moving.
Right. I get it.
Well, I
Paralysis.
don't
by
have it as a
analysis.
fillable PDF because I don't create fillable PDFs. I just do it on our website platform.
Well, I figured that the university could probably help. If I got it to them, maybe they could just do that
Okay,
for us.
sure.
Yeah, if we send them a PDF, they probably can convert it to
Like,
a
yeah,
fillable.
put them to work.
Yeah. Yeah. But Katie, I'm going to assign, can you reword section 4 and get it to Jennifer?
Do
Are you
you
trying
think,
to, which Katie? Katie Miller?
Katie Miller.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
do you think it might be useful for you to have a small subcommittee again of 2 or 3 people who can finalize this, figure out what the best platform is, and finish this up? Do you think that might be a useful thing to do?
We could do that. I could be on that. Cindy, you're on the other one though. Angela, do you want to be on that? I know that you're coming in late as far as the survey goes, but fresh eyes are sometimes good.
Sure. Yep. Yes. Happy to.
I mentioned this last time. It might be just worth making it into a Google form, and then you just share the link out with whoever. It'd be 2 different, platforms there. One on the website and this other more portable one that you can take different places.
See, this is why I think a subcommittee that really understands all of this might be really useful, because some of us are not that deep in understanding all of this. And so why don't we just get a little subcommittee together, let them figure out what the best platforms are. Jen is there. She can maybe talk to you about it and just get it done.
I mean, I'm fine with whatever you guys decide. If it's if you want it to be on our website, I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to make any changes to what's there. But if you guys make decisions to do a different platform, I'm not familiar with other, particularly. So, and I can't really take on another thing like that. But whatever you guys decide, happy to do it.
How about Cindy, Angela, Kevin?
Yeah. If somebody can share it with me, I can mock it up as a Google form and just kind of ship it back out, and so you can see what I'm talking about.
You should have it already.
I'll send you a
I have
PDF
it.
in the morning.
Okay.
The actual form. It's just I'm struggling with rewording number 4.
Just reword it.
I know, but I wrote the first one, so it's hard for me to reword it. And then number 7 as well. Those were the only 2 really that they were having issues with. I don't know where number 7 is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that one. It's just including the prohibition for the use of chokeholds. We were just going to add that. Okay. So let's work, Cindy, and Angela, let's work on rewording that, and then maybe you can work on the Google form, and we can we can get this thing done. The last time we had talked on discussing the possible additional PCEB webpage items, we talked about adding the ECINS to the webpage. I don't think that's been done yet.
I think I misplaced. I was looking all over the place for my list today. So I'm making notes right now. I'll get those up there. The ECINS. I know I need to do the full police policies.
And then information regarding the Citizens Police Academy. I don't know if we want to put that out there now, or as we draw closer to when the next one would be offered.
I'm not sure, Kevin, when that's going to be, because you can't really do that virtually.
I know.
So, as soon as we are able to do it, we will. But right now, it's kind of on hold indefinitely.
I wonder if it would be beneficial to at least put it out there that it will be available at some point when COVID-19 is, so people can see that it's something that we have done in the past, that the police department's done in the past.
And we are going to, we discussed it, and we are going to break it into 2 different kind of sessions so that people can more easily get to them and digest them. If you can't make one year, maybe make the other one. So we're going to have one administrative and one operational so that we can have smaller chunks that people can more easily attend.
And then, so do we want to add that information to the webpage? Yes.
If somebody can get me some language to post with that, or Chief, if you've got something that just says what it is, that kind of thing.
Sure, I can get that too, Jennifer. Let me work on it a little bit though, because like I said, we haven't firmed it up, but we're going to do it in 2 different blocks. So I'll write something up and get it to you.
Okay. And then Jennifer, you were going to look into how many hits the website actually got.
The whole website, or the
No, the Police Community Engagement Board landing page. How many hits were actually
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah, I will check into that.
Are you waiting for me to go start your homework?
I am.
Oh wait.
Because I haven't done it.
Okay, and the last item is the report on the community conversations. How's that going, Jerry?
We have not met this month yet. I need to schedule another meeting. The city is looking at doing an audit, a diversity, equity, and inclusion audit. And I don't know if we have actually contracted with someone yet or not. And we continue to look around at various programs, and so it's coming along. It's just so slow with COVID now. Between COVID and the demand that's being placed on so many people who do diversity, equity, anti-racism training is tough. You know, Ibram X, whatever his, yeah. He was a speaker, a presenter for St. Louis U's social work program about maybe 2 weeks ago. Some of us, a lot of us signed up. We couldn't get in because there were 12,000 people who signed up for that, and they limited it to the first 1,000. And so I don't know if any of you signed up and got in. I sure did. Did you get in, Cindy? How'd you do that?
I sat and waited. I had it ready.
Was it good?
It was very good. It was excellent.
Yeah, I was one of the 11,000 that didn't get into that.
So was
So this
I.
is what's happening. And you too, Scott, you were
Yeah,
part
we
of
were
the
shut
11.
out.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
were all shut out.
And we
That
were
tells
preparing
you.
for it. So
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. I did one last week with Leah Stowers. Fabulous program. And but it was done through a conference, and so you could get a big audience. So it's really tough out there right now, but we're moving along.
Cindy, do you know if they recorded that?
Yeah,
I
they
looked
They
back,
did.
I think they did.
They did. I went back and watched, like, it was pretty long. I got to see like a half hour, 45 minutes of it.
If
So
someone,
you couldn't, yeah.
if someone could share, if there is a link or something to the recording, someone could share that with the group, then maybe we could, over time, take our time to actually go through it.
Yeah, there's some really good material out there now, really excellent material. And, so much of this is not, I think it's so personalized and it's so emotional. And when you talk to people who do training, they recognize that. So this idea that you're going to mandate training with everybody just can backfire on you. So we need to make these conversations and these books and these texts available to people who can pursue this at their own pace, where it really is much more impactful when you can just absorb it.
Well, I think then people are better prepared to maybe come up with a plan that you can actually implement and fulfill the actual goal of improving the situation. So
yeah, whatever you can figure out what policies you have that have been negative that you can change. But I think we're all in a good shape for hopefully finally one day moving forward.
yeah. All right. And there were no remarks from visitors. So I will not be sharing any of those at this point. So the final item is the confirmation of the next scheduled meeting. The subcommittee, I'll get a hold of you and Cindy and Angela, and we'll get something set up. I am slammed the rest of this week, but early next week, maybe we'll be able to get together. I'll look at my calendars and just send you guys a quick email. Jennifer, you're going to be sending the form, or I can. It doesn't really matter.
I'll send Cindy the form tomorrow morning.
Okay.
and for our subcommittee, we're going to start from the PowerPoint presentation and go from there. Is that how?
Yes.
Figure out
Jennifer,
what
can
need
you,
to do.
I'm sorry, also send it to me, just being on the
Absolutely.
computer so I can kind of start looking at it.
Absolutely. These subcommittee meetings would be Zoom through us, yes, Mayor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm reminded again, or we're reminded again about the Sunshine Law. So you really need to set these up in a way where they can be posted 24 hours in advance.
What's the rule? Is it more than, there's 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more than, I guess, more than 2?
I think it's smart, having also recently listened to Updated on the Sunshine Law, I think it's smart if you're going to do a subcommittee, if you have 3 people, just go ahead and do an agenda. It doesn't have to be fancy, but people are watching, and it will be easier if you can just do that. The agendas are easy to do. All you need is 2 topics, being there and whatever it is that you're going to discuss. But I do that to make sure that
I can send you a subcommittee agenda, like a sample.
Good.
Okay.
Really easy.
That would be great. And then on as far as the availability of time,
Yeah, that's what, I don't have the calendar here with me. I'm at home now.
Right. So, Cindy and Angela, why don't you send me your available times over the next week? From really now through through next Friday, and see if we can get something done by then. I don't think it's going to take us very long to do this. So, and then our next meeting, I'm looking at October 27th. The city council is probably meeting on the 6th and the 20th.
Right.
The 13th would be probably the library board? Or
They don't meet through our Zoom.
They don't? Well, is
No.
anybody meeting on the 13th?
Let's see, it's a Monday. I
that's
don't
Tuesday.
believe,
That's a
I'm
Tuesday.
sorry, I'm looking at September,
Yeah.
which it also wasn't a Monday. Might be,
History. Historical
yeah.
preservation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about the 27th of October?
I think that would be fine. It should be fine.
Okay.
Good.
I may be late to that. There's a cross country meet, but parents so far haven't been able to go anyway. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's our parent teacher conferences, so I won't be able to come.
How about Wednesday the 28th?
I mean, I think that would be fine for city.
Okay, let's do it Wednesday the 28th. Because I would like to make it available for everyone, so.
Jennifer, that's not a court night, is it?
They're doing court virtually. And not, it's like 3 to 6.
Okay, because I thought they were using Zoom.
They are, but it's earlier.
Okay.
It's from like 3 to 6 in the afternoon.
All right, thanks.
So we'll do Wednesday, October 28th at 6:30. All right. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I like to say that Jennifer's been working since 8 o'clock this morning. And she'll be back at it tomorrow at 8 o'clock again until late tomorrow night.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to
Jesus.
thank Jennifer and Aaron because, I mean, they're putting in lots of extra hours getting the minutes put together, and Jennifer trying to keep us straight on the website stuff, and this is just a lot. There's just a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And but yeah, you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you. These are extraordinary times.
They are, aren't they? They are. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much.
I want to know, John Thomas, where's your dog?
I think he's finally worn out and gone to bed.
He is so cute.
He's a handful. Thank you.
All right, Chief, you're going to shut it down?
All right.
Yes, Jennifer, I got it.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Good night. Stay safe.